The waiting room went quiet after my aunt opened Dad's sign-out sheet and saw who kept leaving. My aunt tried to turn my dad's heart scare into proof that I was the unreliable daughter before the vending machine coffee had even gone cold. Dad went into observation after chest pain at work. It turned out to be a medication issue and dehydration, but he still stayed 2 nights in the cardiology wing. That should have simplified people. Instead, it activated the family ranking system. My older brother Shane is the kind of person who announces help while other people are still doing it. He posts hospital chair selfies, answers questions nobody asked, and somehow comes out looking generous even when he leaves early. My Aunt Marla adores him because he calls her back and says we have to stay strong for Dad in a voice built for witnesses. I took the first night because Shane had an early roofing estimate. I took the second because his son had a school thing. I also picked up Dad's charger, talked to the night nurse about his meds because he kept mixing up the new dosage, and called our mother twice. None of that was flashy enough to survive retelling. By the second afternoon, cousins were already texting me that Shane was carrying this. I knew what that meant. He was getting public credit, while I was getting quietly rewritten. Dad was discharged around 6. The waiting room outside his unit smelled like sanitizer and fries. Marla came in with 2 cousins and immediately started talking like she had been appointed family spokesperson. She said the next few weeks would require real consistency and maybe somebody should decide who Dad could actually count on. I asked what that meant. She said, gently enough to be insulting, that emotional intentions were not the same as showing up. Shane did his humble shrug and said nobody was keeping score, which is what people say when they think they are winning. I said I had been there both nights. Marla said, you were there and gone. Shane stayed. I laughed because that was so backwards it startled me. Shane told me not to make a scene. One cousin actually nodded at him like I was the unstable variable. Then Nurse Patel came out with Dad's discharge packet and asked who had slept in the room because the recliner bedding had to be cleared before release. Marla answered before either of us could and said Shane had done the overnight stays. Patel frowned at her clipboard. She said, I have Lexi on both overnight visitor bans. Shane jumped in and said he stayed late enough that it barely mattered. Patel said it mattered because overnight visitors had to sign in after 8 and sign out in the morning. She was holding the sheet. Marla asked to see it like she expected some technicality to save him. Patel turned the clipboard around. My name was on both overnight entries, with in times, out times, and room number. Under that, Shane had 2 visitor entries ending at 7:42 p.m. and 7:18 p.m. Nobody spoke for a second. Then Patel added that I was also the one who requested the pharmacy teaching because Dad said I was the person actually keeping track of his medication list at home. That was the shift. Not just that Shane had left, but that Dad had told staff who he trusted with the details. Marla asked Shane why he let everyone think otherwise. He said he never corrected people because this was not a competition. That might have landed if he had not spent 2 days accepting praise built on the lie. When Dad came out in the wheelchair, he could tell the room had changed. Marla took his duffel. Shane tried to grab the discharge folder, and Dad handed it back to me. On the drive home, Dad said Shane liked the look of being needed more than the work itself. He also said he was tired of people treating me like I disappear just because I do not narrate every useful thing I do. So now, the family version has to change. Marla started the evening, trying to establish who Dad could count on, and by the time the automatic doors opened, everybody had their answer in writing.